Right, hello everyone. Welcome to today's stream. Well, we are just before the market open. Let's have a look at stocks. Generally, it seems like a green day, but you never know, of course. So for now, we keep it positive. Of course, when OCGN, of course, is the stock basically on top right now, 15%. Let's have a look at some of the other thing just before starting the market. Let's have a look at the stocks pre-market. So OCGN is at the top. Naked is up 6%, but let's have a look at Nasdaq. Well, it's mixed actually. Facebook up. I want to look at Pinterest. Pins. We had a trade with pins. I should have waited more. I think this will go up now. And although this is actually lower than the day, I think it should go up after its earning. I think there were many of these estimation that Pinterest will actually do good. So let's see how that turns out for us. Let's have a look at other things. 26.
Reason we can talk about what's going on in India and Brazil and concerns maybe over these strains of the virus, but mostly things have been stronger, and therefore the only real reason is that the market has pulled back. All that means interest rates have pulled back, long-term interest rates, is because the technical condition. I mean, they've just gotten incredibly overbought. Now I'm talking about interest rates. The TLT, which is the bond ETF, which measures price, it was getting incredibly oversold. In fact, if you looked at its weekly RSI, Relative Strength Index chart, it's the most oversold it had ever been, going back to 2002 when it was first came out. But if you look at the yield on the a 10-year note, it was the most overbought it had been since 1994 on its weekly RSI chart. So everybody, everybody was kind of on one side of the boat, and it needed to pull back. That's what it's done the last couple of weeks. And my concern is that now that this kind of worked off a lot of this these extreme readings on its technical nature, that the economy and the underlying fundamentals will take back over and push interest rates higher. If that does happen, it could and probably will, especially if it goes to new highs above the highs we've seen so far this year, get closer to 2%, will create bigger headwinds for the stock market.
Matt, 95% of the S&P 500 is trading above the 200-day moving average. Is that bullish?
No, it's not. I mean, a lot of people are pointing to that as being, oh, look at how many stocks. It's a really broad reaction. Usually a high number of stocks trading above their 200-day moving average is a bullish sign. But it's the same thing with like sentiment. When you have, if bullish sentiment is really lower, in other words, at bearishment, everybody's bearish, okay, then, that's usually a contrarian indicator. As bullishness gets higher and higher and higher, that's good for the market until it becomes to an extreme. And when it gets to an extreme, it becomes a contrarian indicator. And the same thing is true for things like this, or stocks trading above their 200-day moving average. It's at 95%. You don't get more extreme than that. And that's really telling us that the market's really kind of getting ahead of itself on a near-term basis. Now, I mean, obviously, that doesn't mean the market's going to roll over tomorrow. It's one of many indicators, but too many people are pointing that as a bullish indicator, where it really is showing that there's a lot of froth in the market.
Matt, you didn't name it either in the comments you just made or in the notes that you sent us, but tech, obviously a big factor this week, as we were just discussing, going to be a lot of companies reporting this week. Is that one of the main sources of froth to you? I mean, unlike some other maybe more frothy segments of the market, they in many cases have the growth to back it up.
True, and it's one of the things that could keep this market going. I mean, two things. Number one is, except for Google, I think you guys were talking about Google earlier, except for Google, you get the FANG stocks, and they've been dead money for 7, 8, 9 months now. If they can finally see some breakout, we're seeing Facebook trying to break out, Amazon finally trying to get the top end of its range. If Netflix last week couldn't break out. That was a disappointment. So if those things can finally pick up, that'll be positive. But Julie, the one that you mentioned on right before you went to the commercial break was these semiconductor stocks. That's going to be the key. I mean, it's been an incredibly important leadership group for the market for many years, but especially in recent years. And
what happened?
it got right up to its February highs just a week and a half ago. It failed and it's pulled back, and it's pulled back below its trend line. It's a very short-term trend line. This is not a major problem, but because sometimes it was getting a little overbought. Now it's starting to bounce back a little bit this week, and we're getting a bunch of earnings.
Losses on the S&P
if it can
500.
continue to rise.
Nice end to the week for the equity bulls, though. That's your opening bell. Switch at the board. Get to the bond market. We look like this morning. Yields with a lift through much of this morning. We give some of that up now. Not up, even a basis point, to 156.49. Going into the Fed decision tomorrow and Chairman Powell news conference. In the FX market, 121. We had a look Friday. We had another look this morning. Then we give it up. We're back to 120.78. Euro dollar down a little more than 0.1%. Copper doing nicely. Abby talked about that earlier, and Kaylee. Crude, $61.09, down about $1 and change, off by, let's call it 1.7%. That's the cross-asset story. Let's get to the market desk and get your movers. Let's check back in with Abby.
Well, helping to explain why stocks opened slightly higher, John, after edging lower in the pre-market, it has all to do with the biggest member weighting to each of the major averages. And, of course, that is Apple, or at least one of the top two. And Apple this morning earlier did make the announcement that they are now going to be spending $430 billion, much larger than the original goal in U.S. investments over the next 5 years. The aim is to create 20,000 jobs in the U.S. in 5 years. And, of course, they will be reporting on this Wednesday, so that could be a piece of it. But last week they did report, or low-level.
So, okay, just for me today, the big interesting ones are the ones near to their earning report. So let's have a look at the earning report, market, stocks, earning calendar. We have the big Tesla, we have Vail, we have Pins is I guess down the road. So let's see. So here is the checkpoint. Probably just reported. I'm not invested in Linux. Is also done it. We have Tesla, the big one today. So let's have a look at Tesla. Let's go to 15 minutes. Yep, had a big jump today. It's going down. I don't know. Many people expected Tesla to have a good earning report today. So yeah. I think this should go up. Let's have a look at. By the way, I had Tesla, Pins, Facebook. These are my main ones. Pinterest. Yeah, it went up. It just went up quickly. Let's see. 1 minute. Yeah. Let's have a look an hour. Let's see how it deal with this resistant 200 EMA. We understand if it goes better or not, or if it goes higher or not. Yeah. What else do we have? Let's have a look at other top things in the. I think Mara and Riot are actually up today. After the Bitcoin move recently, Bitcoin is up huge, almost 10% now, and yeah, compared to its 47, which was basically the low of the day. SunW, BNGO, or BNGO. Bingo, what was that? is not actually moving very straight, but yeah, anyway. Let's see what people are doing everywhere. Still, this guy is there.
It's always interesting, Matt, when there's a level that everyone wants a certain asset to get to. I'd love to buy it here. Well, that means it's not going to get there. And if it does, there might be a reason you actually don't want to buy it. So we'll see what happens at Bitcoin 41,000. Matt Naily, Miller Tayback. Yeah, Matt, appreciate the time. Matt Naily, Miller Tayback, always appreciate it. And I know we'll talk soon.
Yeah, all right.
6. Carnival 3.7. Still green candlesticking. So certainly nothing's green candlesticking like Microvision is here. Woo! There it goes. It's almost at 22 now. Oh, nope, back to 21.34. Woo! Microvision. That one's playing money today. Oh my goodness, there it is. Hits 22. Oh dear, that's a push. That's amazing. Riot Blockchain slipping. Marathon Digital holding on slightly, bringing a little bit of red in here. We got Nano Dimension 4%, SOS 3.7. What else have we not shared some love with here? We got Lemonades heading back to 100. I tell you, oh nice. Somebody, Megan here kept their short-term calls on even after the Friday rally. That right there that was a bold move, because we had this insane run last week on Microvision. I mean, crazy run on Microvision last week. And keeping those short-term calls over the weekend, wow, that is bold. But look at the tendies you are printing now with another 23%. You got a big payoff on that one. Woo! Very, very, very nice. All right, so let's see what else we got here. So yeah, on the downside, Etsy kind of slipping to about 3% there. Wayfair also starting to follow about 1%. Starbucks red candle sticking straight down here. Fisker again kind of on that downtrend. Fisker's not getting any love. It's really the LiDAR plays right now that are trading. I remember
this is actually one of the plays that is in very basically is in a lower channel, struggling. This is Farfetch. I actually thought that this will go up, but it didn't. I was a little bit, impatient on this, but I still wait. If it breaks down and then probably gets rejected by this, and then if it comes back and then rebound from here and go up, so that is basically the move I'm looking for. Let's see the path. So if I want a path, I think it will be this, and this. So something like this. I'm looking for Farfetch, and but let's see, maybe I'm wrong. This is still, I think, too soon for that. I think this might get, I mean, another scenario is that this will actually come down here and then play in this zone, and finally at some point it just goes up. And if it goes up here, I think then it will be at least till this point. You will have one move. So if I just make this another color, so it's either this blue line or it's yellow. As it seems now, it is actually gonna be lower, but how about day? On the other hand, the day is actually, let's see, let's wait on this. Let's not. Okay, what is Kevin is saying?
I'm also on the average candlestick, so a little harder sometimes to see the first move. Tesla sitting at 743-ish, a little bit of red coming in here. Remember, it is Tesla earnings day. We are expecting a beat, but we shall see. Let's give some of these mainstream folks a listen for a moment. We'll also grab the terminal up again here. Okay, great. So we got the Varns on a commercial. Fine. And what do we got over here?
Takes 2 years for the review. The money is going to actually go into the trust. It will, therefore, you will as a
Kansas City Southern. All right, let's try something else. Bloomberg Live. All right, let's go. All right. So what else do we have here? SPACs get sued all the time, folks. There we go. Hold on 1 sec. Got to get that Bloomberg up. Got about 20 seconds to go on getting Bloomberg up. We got pretty boring CNBC here. We got a boring Varnes here. Seems like the media just doesn't want to cover the tendies today in the market because there are lots of tendies being printed right now in the market. And remember, one of the things we were talking about over the last few weeks is potential load up in these short or in the of shorts in the SPACs. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we're seeing right now. It's just a broader squeeze as these hedgies place so many bets against the market, worried that, oh, what if earnings just don't come in as well as we thought because we're weenie babies? All these shorts, potentially one of the reasons we're seeing a lot of them get burned right now, led to really a culmination of pain on the 20th, which I still think it's funny when people are like, oh, Kevin paper-handed on the 20th. I doubled down on this market on the 20th. I got $12 million of exposure in options. It's like $3.8 million of actual value. More now since it's been green since then. But if I had shares, the share equivalent, and I wanted to see the same kind of returns on shares as those options, the risky ones I took, need about $12 million of shares, which that, to me, is a double down. All right, let's see. Okay, even Bloomberg's on commercial. Man, what is going on with the suits today? They are just not covering the rally today. They're probably pissed because their shorts are getting...
At this point in their corporate history, I think is probably even maybe a surprise to them. And sort of where the Snap story goes from here, I think it was only, 2 years ago, it was a single-digit stock, and now it's 60-something.
Yeah, look, I think you have several factors, right? So the first is they basically kind of got the company on a professional product trajectory, meaning, line of sight, we want to put out X product. Let's put a timeline, let's get it out. So the cadence of getting product out, right? And they talked a lot about the whole Android upgrade, just as an example, but just broadly, right? They fixed the plumbing of the business. Next, they ramped their sales force, right? As a result, they can now go to advertisers, effectively say, this is why we have that target audience for your product. This is why you should spend money with us. Then you're now seeing them kind of innovate on the product, right? So if you think about it, they are probably in the best position amongst all the digital advertising companies to leverage augmented reality in advertising, right? Given their demo, their younger user base, they're more likely to experiment with camera as a kind of tool for product try on and et cetera. And while we do expect other companies like Facebook to be a fast follower there, I just think Snap has the perfect audience. So really, that sets up a pretty interesting story. Then the next leg would be the Maps product, which has really good user engagement, but not really any revenue associated with it. And then even kind of Evan on the call talked about kind of getting kind of Snap technology in other third-party hardware, like in Samsung phones and that augmented reality. So, when you think about where this is all going, this company is just very well positioned, and their monetization is still well less than Facebook, and investors like that outlook.
And Jason, switching gears to Amazon, what's the one thing that investors want to see from Amazon on its earnings day that would get the stock going higher again?
Yeah, look, there's been some questions about, are they losing share to other cloud players, namely, Google and Microsoft? What did COVID do to cloud? We think COVID has actually accelerated cloud migration, right? You had probably a whole bunch of CTOs who were like, we wish we had done this migration faster to the cloud. And on top of that, while you did see certain companies probably see more usage of the cloud, there were a whole lot of companies who cut back usage. So we think actually the cloud story is pretty well set up, and investors are probably not worried about that, which was, I think, a worry maybe a year ago. It's probably more of did Amazon take so much share during COVID and people buying shampoo online for the first time that as the economy is reopening, that they're going to lose share? You know, we've always found in e-commerce, the genie never goes back in the bottle. Yes, people will go out and about in their lives, but at the end of the day, like, you know, is buying shampoo in a store enjoyable? And so if it's such an easy thing and a habitual thing you've now kind of done online, you'll just keep doing that. So I think that's the biggest question. I think investors.
So Checkpoint, as we were discussing before, Checkpoint actually beat on both APS and revenue. I actually think Checkpoint is a good company, but I'm already on CrowdStrike, and I don't know. I feel like Crowd is a very good company. So
we think they're going to try to reinvest it, and the question is, where does it go? Does it go into grocery? Does it go into pharmacy? You know, they have kind of some ambitions around healthcare, and so I think investors would like kind of understand how that affects the story over the next 12 to 18 months.
And finally, just quickly, I think Alphabet is the one that we didn't touch on quite as much. Presumably, some of the ad trends that are going to help, you know, Facebook, even Amazon, and the others are going to help Alphabet most of all. Perhaps, I don't know. Who stands to gain the most from the surge in ads?
Yeah, I mean, we think expectations are actually the lowest for Alphabet, partially because it's been the most obvious reopening stock, right? They have the most exposure to travel, they have the most exposure to local. And so we think, you know, to the extent you would think expectation would be higher when we've done kind of our own work, we actually think within kind of the tech group, it's actually the best setup into earnings. You know, look, a lot of people have looked at kind of Alphabet and said this company is just so big, you know, can it keep hyper growth? And they just have this kind of ability to surprise. We think their advertising is going to be up 26% this year, which is 2 points above the street. And we're looking for 17% next year, which is 5 points above the street. So we like that setup. The stock's not expensive. You know, there is, you know, if you look at what some of the other pure play ad tech companies are trading at in the market, you know, kind of Alphabet doesn't get the same credit as some of those companies. You know, there's going to be some noise, I think, around the changes they're making to Chrome with kind of going cookieless in Chrome, et cetera. But at the end of the day, we think it's probably the best reopening play within the advertising sector.
Very interesting stuff. Thanks, Jason. Jason Helfstein of Oppenheimer. Appreciate it. When we come back, we'll talk to our editor-in-chief, Andy Serwer, about the Chinese cotton problem. We'll be right back.
yeah, okay, so what else do we have here? Let's see.
5.8% on Arcimoto. It's pretty high on Arcimoto, honestly. SDC, I don't know what SDC is. Tesla, I'm pretty sure is right after the bell. I will look, though. Let's see here. Earnings. I'll pull it up really quick. And then we'll go back to the sticks here in a moment. So, calendar. There we go. All right. But yeah, I am curious to see what time for Tesla today. So
interestingly, about Pinterest, I don't see right now a clear sign that it will go up. The volume flow is actually going higher, which is positive. But also it is getting overextended. When we look at the day, however, it's better, I guess, when you look at day. So maybe we can expect this to go high today, and even after the earnings. So of course, you know, earning, you never know what's gonna happen. I actually think there is a very good amount of, you know, up potential compared to going lower. Like lower, we have almost 9%. And again, even if it fails there, you can actually keep it. But it's much more on the upside. So I don't know. I'm still thinking if I should get a position today, or if I trade Pinterest today or not. Maybe if it back to this point, maybe. I don't think it comes back to 73 or 74, honestly. I might just lose it, but it just got rejected from the 200 EMA, so that's another part about that one. I still have to look at this a bit more, but Lemonade is actually up 3.3%. Yeah. When we look at the day, what happened? Why don't I have the volume here? Yeah. Actic. Let's say 15 minutes. Nothing really clear, honestly. Has been really on a downtrend when we look at let's say 4 hour. So it's obviously now in a downtrend, and I don't know, if you want you can make a trade out of it maybe, but for long term I still think maybe I should wait a bit more. It shouldn't go much lower than this, at least for now, but I prefer to wait. I mean, there is no point in rushing if you want to hold long term. Even if it goes back up, it's okay in my opinion, because the potential gain is too high to be worried about a little bit of going up, but instead we might actually go and then it just goes lower. So let's just wait for Virgin Galactic. And let's see what other stuff. Etsy. Oh, Etsy's down. One of the most robust actually stocks in the downtrend that we had in the past 2 months. Okay. Alert Energy is also down. JD. It's really interesting for me. Like JD is 100% one of the best, I mean, in my opinion. So trade at your own risk, but one of the most undervalued stocks you can find right now. It's a fantastic company with a lot of growth ahead of it, and so it's an easy 35%, 30% to its all-time high. So, and again, it's really weird for me that this and Alibaba are still waiting. Alibaba is the bigger one, but I love both of them. So I'm gonna just add to my position gradually, and I'm actually mostly invested in, what was it, 9816. Oh, sorry, was it 9816 or 9618? 9618. So this is the JD on the Hong Kong exchange, and yeah, so on the day it is actually going up. So I'm still thinking that this will go up and then again play a bit here, but this is one of the good ones, honestly, in the current market. What is Kevin saying?
They have a sale going on. Selling fast is the code. Selling fast. There we go. Selling fast is the coupon code for the merchandise. Link down below. It's actually not my coupon. It's a coupon.
Kevin is advertising for himself. Oh, yeah, I agree. He is doing a good job, really. I think the only reason I think I would prefer him to do is to do a little bit more technical analysis, but he is apparently good at fundamental analysis. So for longer investments, that's very good. NEO, regarding NEO, I actually think that NEO will go down. NEO is probably one of those companies, probably, of course, I have no inside knowledge, but this is probably one of those companies that is going to suffer more than others for because of this like chip shortage. And I think Tesla is in a much better position compared to NEO, because Tesla has been in the game for so long, and they probably have much better connections compared to NEO. So in a sense, I mean, I'm not surprised if NEO goes down. If it goes down below 35, I will add more, but definitely not before that. What else? Crowd is down, Draft is down, Tattoo Chef, DCF. Tattoo Chef, actually, I'm not really sure that it is going up. Based on technical analysis, it looks like it is, but not very strong. So for the day, when you look, so it actually is coming up from the lower band of Bollinger Band. Also the stochastic RSI is going up, and then also the volume flow, as you can see, is increasing. So it has a very good chance that this is going up. But at the same time, when you look at 4-hour chart, I mean, you might expect that it consolidates a bit here and then probably goes up. So one of the things is that they say probably because after the return to the normal days after reopening, people probably gonna use less frozen food compared to the staying at home period. So that is probably another factor. But obviously the big news for Tattoo Chef was that their CEO sold a lot of their share. But if you're interested in that, it wasn't really a big problem in my opinion. I mean, he had some debt. He gave that part because of his debt. And then we had Williams, Daniel Williams, I guess, that bought a lot of stock as an independent investor. So I don't know. Still, I believe in the company's performance. So I think it is going up. What's Kevin saying?
Be a disaster for short-term inflation. So it's gonna be interesting. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Y'all funny in the comments. All right, Microvision. First red candlesticks really coming. Some more solid red candlesticks coming through here. Still holding on to 22. Naked up to 13%. That is. It's at 65-ish cents. Luminar 12%. Really big moves in momentum here. I mean, we had a massive momentum sell-off, and now we got some big old pushes here in momentum. Momentum is just push right now. It is absolutely incredible. I mean, look back at 420, how much pain there was in the market. I'm really happy I doubled down on my bets right now with options, because we've got lots of green here. Not sure, we got a little bit of a red candle coming up again here, a little bit on the CCIV. We got CRISPR down at about 2%. A nice little move up there on CRISPR. Tesla's about 1%. A little tentative there on Tesla. Matterport about 1% as well. Tentative moves here. Potentially awaiting earnings for some additional validation. On the downside, we're having a little bit of a rebound off the bottom here. Tiny rebound off the bottom. API, Fisker, Faraday Solutions, a little bit of rebounds over here. But yeah, a little bit of, I would say it's fascinating to see this volatility in this market here. Makes me wonder, what's our CBOE VIX doing? CBOE volatility index here. Looks like we got, let's see, volatility is only sitting at 2.71%. Let's go back to the 10-year for a second, and then we'll look.
Did you, I mean, he is right. Psychology of trader. So he says that buy low, sell high, correct? But when the indices are making all-time highs, and cryptos are literally going to move, real estate is booming, commodities prices are increasing, and it's incredibly hard not to buy high and then sell low. He is correct. Like, he is 100% correct, because people just say it, but they don't do it actually like that. So one of the reasons I try to not buy anything right now is because everything is going up. But I have to be honest, not everything is going up. Like, for example, last week at some point, everything was up. Like, there were no red here. And those days are actually, in my opinion, wrong to buy, because it's just a day that everything is going up, and probably not a lot of even technical matters at the point. But to be fair, we were going down for a long time. What else do we have here? What else do we have for an interesting trade? Virgin Galactic, Upwork. I'm so pissed at myself that I sold Upwork. It was on a downtrend. I thought that I can actually, it was about to go on a downtrend, so I sold my position. It went down a bit, and then it went right back up. So yeah. What is going down today? Let's see. Alert, some power, discovery, Tendoi. What happened? It went down huge on this. Interesting.
And so on and so forth. They're selling those stocks the way that they did in 2000. Interesting, because you could make the case that last week was, of course, last year was an easy comp because it was the start of the pandemic. So that's not.
Are you suggesting a trade today? Well, there are a lot of good moves today. OCGN, Microvision. There are momentum plays right now. I think Naked was up, AMC was up, Mara and Riot are up. Like, there are plays to be made. But for long-term investing, no, I don't suggest to buy today, really. Another good one is Pinterest today. I was actually looking to get something Pinterest and trade it. So again, I wanted it to come back a bit, but apparently it's not. On longer time frame, when we look, it looks like that it can go up higher, but so for now it's making higher lows, and let's see if it makes higher high. I don't know, even if it comes up here to 84, it has a very good upside, so around 14%. I don't know, I feel like we can make something out of Pinterest. But then again, if you want to invest in something today, probably I would wait a bit, because there's usually volatility when you are getting near to earnings season. And today and this week we have a lot of big ones coming. How's Tesla moving? Let's look at Tesla. It's not really clear. Let's look at minutes. NNDM. NNDM looks interesting for a trade, but let's have a look at 5 minutes. Maybe we can make a trade out of this, or
so much. That's a joke. It's all a big deception. Suit on with shorts on, deception. All right, what else we got here? So Etsy bouncing along the bottom here. Nordstrom down a little bit here. Interesting to see Nordstrom down, yet the airlines up. I tell you, the whole recovery trade is broken. A lot less consistency than we used to have. 30% on Mind Medicine, sitting about 4.58 right now. Microvision, 22.22, up 23%. Ocugen, not as high as we had there on Microvision. As we got close to that 24, it looks like we kind of hit that resistance spot a little bit earlier than usual there.
I actually think it's just too much risky for now to go for an NDM. It's stressed on the Bollinger Band, and it's even here, so I don't take it now. But the momentum is high, so let's wait for some sort of a pullback. So if something actually comes down to even here, or this was a beautiful one on a basically on the start of the day, 3 minutes. So this was actually a good opportunity. I still wait for the pullback. I won't just go in right now, I think. Too risky for now. Let's keep an eye on NNDM. How about Mara? BNGO. Let's see, what do we have here? In our filter, not above. Let's have last, crosses up, the Bollinger Band low, and what else do we have? We have stochastic crosses up. So not many interesting ones. HAL. Actually, this is not a bad one for a longer trade. You can have your stop loss at this point, or if you want it to be higher, it goes here, but I would get it at this point, and then, or let's go like this, long. So this will go here, and this one here. So 1.5 almost ratio. So I think this is completely achievable. Do we have HAL here in? Has earning. That's why it's moving like that. But from the technical point of view, it's not a bad move. I don't think it will have this much. So let's keep an eye on it.
Comment when asked point blank if his company had been approached by Apple. Oh.
Not interesting. Let's see what these guys
is more likely to get through than any kind of change in the individual capital gains rate. Because again, I think the cap gains conversation gets into very personal, very political, very donor-centric conversations that may not really have the juice for the current Congress, or the current Congress might not have the stomach to try to get some of that stuff through.
Well, Julie, this is anti-business. You're going to see taxes go up all over the place.
Is it anti-business though? I mean, I was just thinking. I always
baiting you, Julie.
Of course he is. Listen, we've had various corporations come on the show, and I've heard corporations elsewhere, as well as wealthy individuals elsewhere, warn about the perils. Oh, the sky is falling. You're going to have to pay for it if taxes go up. The corporation's going to have to pass it on in some measure. And, some of that is probably true. But, if you look at the history, we have not seen the dire consequences, whether in the markets or in the real economy, by the way. We've been talking about it through the prism of the markets. Hasn't happened in the real economy either, that higher taxes have choked off growth. The evidence just isn't there.
There it is. Where's the gavel?
I hope all these potholes get fixed with all this increased corporate tax money. Let's just say that.
I look forward to reconvening at 10 a.m. tomorrow and having the same conversation.
We'll be ready. Sorry. We're going to turn to Tesla now. Pardon me. We are going to turn to Tesla and talk
Monday.
about it is such a Monday, guys. That's on me. I thought that Miles was going to talk, and instead it's my turn to talk. Okay, and now it's Pros's turn to talk. Thankfully, Pros Supermanian's going to come in and talk to us about Tesla. Pros, aren't you glad you're not producing this show today? And Val's going to yell at me afterwards. Talk to us about what we can expect from Tesla. We got the deliveries numbers already. Those were hot. What about how the earnings numbers are actually going to come through for the quarter?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me, guys. I'd love to be on your show more often, but that's not how these things work. But anyway, yeah, tonight, a big earnings report tonight. Tesla kind of setting the tone for the week, right, with the big tech stuff coming up. On a really high level, Q1 revenue, $10.4 billion, right? That's what the street's expecting. 74% jump year-over-year growth. On an adjusted basis, EPS 80 cents, right? And they mentioned that report, Julie, that big record deliveries in Q1, 184,000 last quarter. Most of those being the Model 3 and Model Y. So that's a big quarter for them. What are we going to hear about in this report? Are we going to hear any 2021 full year delivery targets, right? They had 500,000 deliveries last year, just short of estimates. But what are we going to hear about, as we listen to Berlin and Texas, right? Those new gigafactories must have said that they would come online later this year. Are we going to hear anything updates on that? And then, of course, the big news, like what are we going to hear from Shanghai, the gigafactory there? Are we going to see more of a ramp up and hear more concrete numbers? Our good friend Dan Ives talks about how China could make up 40% of Tesla's global output. So those are some of the big things we're watching for in this tonight's report.
And Praz, I'm just hoping to hear Elon Musk explain his upcoming SNL appearance on the conference call. Looking forward to listening in on that one. But, you mentioned China. There are a lot of new competitors in China. XPeng, Li Auto. You think Tesla's at risk here?
You know, I think in China they do have that kind of like that brand recognition that goes a long way. I think Elon's kind of a rock star in that country, but good points about NIO and also XPeng. Like, you know, can they eat into that Tesla kind of lead there? But you know, mention stuff like Elon and SNL. I mean, there's gonna be a bunch of wild card stuff we could also hear on tonight's report, right? Crypto. Are they going to talk about any kind of crypto payment, crypto, you know, processing, things like that? Are we going to get an autopilot update? And the full self-driving beta is kind of still out. Is that going to go bigger? In addition to the fact that we had these, you know, recent crashes with that. And finally, lastly, the batteries, right? The battery update, the 4680 battery. Are we going to hear more about that? How's that rollout going? Is it actually being produced in Fremont? Those are some big things that we might hear, as well as, you know, China, Brian.
Yeah, a lot of wild cards. It wouldn't be Tesla if there weren't those wild cards to maybe watch out for. Pras, thank you so much. Appreciate it, and appreciate your patience as well. All right, when we come back, the two big winners at the Oscars, diversity and Netflix. We'll be right back.
Right. What else do we have here?
Under 200 again. That's where I'm interested in maybe picking the thing up again a little bit. All right, what else do we have here? So we got the 10-year sitting at 1.56. Let's see what the Varns has. Does Varns have anything for us? Also, the course member live stream today will probably be a little bit earlier than usual, just because I have to leave at a certain time today. So stay tuned. Probably in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll figure that out. And remember that coupon code has been set for May 5th. So check that out. If you're thinking about joining during this run, you may as well join.
So here's the reason for Etsy. It falls because KeyBank One's smashing earning reports could fade actually for Etsy. I still think Etsy is a very, very interesting company, just too expensive now. Too expensive. It just doesn't make sense for me at this stage to go at Etsy. I lost the opportunity when I had the time. But anyway, too expensive now for me.
Let's see. How do you access the courses? They're linked down below. It says like metkevin.com/join, I think it is. So Starbucks down 2%. Zoom down. We got Etsy still moving down. Lots of the reds are really extending here a little bit. Desktop metals down 2.5%. DoorDash, Macy's. Yeah, some of the traditional recovery ones really moving to the downside here. Pinterest actually down 0.6% here. What else do we have? Yeah, Beyond Meat went positive again. Okay.
So NNDM is coming down. It should come down, and then if it starts to move back up, the stochastic, I might take a trade. It seems that it has been on a upward move, so it will be a trade. I am actually long in NNDM. Not very long actually. I have a take profit level of 25 before. Now maybe it's 20 or even 18, but let's see.
Research, you know, for the audience, what has happened in the last 12 months or so is that Apple has like other big tech companies, including Google and Amazon, has moved towards designing its own chips, using its own in-house processors, where historically, in Apple's case, they have used Intel. You know, that is largely how the chip industry has worked in the past. We refer to chip makers like Qualcomm, for example, but really those guys just design and license chips. What Apple is moving to do is design its own and then look to third-party manufacturers to fabricate them. And that is really part of what's shaken up the chip supply chain in recent years. It's one reason why Intel moves so aggressively with that $20 billion investment plan, not just to double down on it manufacturing of its own chips, but to launch.
Okay, we're going to pull up Bloomberg here. Let's go back to CNBC. I appreciate it. Thanks for that shout out there, Jake, on the stock course. Yep, use that code to the moon, expiring soon here. Let's go ahead and jump on. What do we got here? Albertsons here.
Look at the plug. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into plug for now, but Coupang is actually Coupang is down today. How is it long term? If I remove this, bring volume, it doesn't have the volume because it's not, hasn't been there for long. Yeah. Well, okay. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the things moving today. Okay, so it went up, coming back. We'll be interested if it comes back to this flag formation again.
I'm not seeing dramatic movements on the sticks one way or the other here. Stable gains here on those that are running, with the exception of Big just pushed another 3 percentage points. AMC showing a little bit of red candle sticking here. Playboy, really impressed with Playboy, I have to say. I'm also still a little nervous about Playboy, that they're going to go through the SPAC cycle, so to speak, but wow. I mean, lately it's mostly been up here. GameStop just turned around here. GameStop, it's almost like GameStop's following AMC here. Yeah, because we saw that big move on AMC. It's like GameStop's like, wait, don't leave me in the dirt. GameStop now pushing, sitting at 156. Charge point 2.3, Palantir 2.01. Bitcoin sitting at 53.6. Did have a nice bump over the last 14-ish hours here. A little bit of a softening there now, 26.9 on the Doge. Still got to get to $1 Doge by May 1. Otherwise, I guess we got to do a little bit of beard removal, which it'll be back in like 3 days anyway. So, you know, nothing to worry about. So, okay. All right. So we're pretty stable here. We can do another little scrub here just to see let's see. They're talking about Albertsons over here. Talking at Varney. They're talking about, what do we got at Varn? No, we're not back to this yet. Let's go here.
Protection, but a second dose will provide a much better defense against those.
Holding talks to acquire the vitamin maker Bountiful. In January, Bloomberg reported that KKR had been planning an IPO valuing Bountiful at more than $6 billion. A sale to Nestle could preempt the IPO. Sanofi has agreed to help make up to 200 million doses of Moderna's coronavirus vaccine. It's the French drug maker's third agreement to throw its weight behind another company's shot. Sanofi will take already prepared vaccine solution, put it into vials, and then package it. At the Academy Awards, Chloe Zhao has become the first Chinese and Asian woman to win an Oscar for Best Director. Zhao won the film Nomadland. The Disney Searchlight Studios movie also won the award for Best Picture, and star Frances McDormand was named Best Actress. And that is your latest business flash. Kaylee, Guy.
Vertica, thank you. So, Guy, I must admit, I did not see Nomadland. I actually had only seen, I think, one film that was nominated for an Oscar this year, but it is a big win for Disney, as Vertica said, and also a big win for the Oscars diversity efforts in that you have the second woman ever.
All right. So I think there's just like such a lack of news that they're talking about movies on Bloomberg now. All right. We'll listen to Bitcoin on CNBC. I like that better.
If you're looking for a different type of...
Seriously, the suits, they make no sense. They make no sense. Absolutely no sense. They all go on commercial at the same time. And there's nothing happening with the sticks. Nothing. I see nothing. It's all the same. We've covered this. No changes here. Ocugen 19%. That's good. That's a little bit of a move. Oh my gosh, look at CCIV. You gotta be kidding me. What? CCIV 11% on this rumor. Are you kidding me? Hold on a second here. This is unreal. Oh my gosh. Let's see, yeah, that's crazy. All right. Well, let's see here. So, yeah, wow. That's a big move there on CCAV. 11%. All right, so, all right, what else do we have here? So, okay. So CCAV's up 11.39. What else? We've got Voyager. I mean, that's a big move there on CCAV on these rumors. Microvision trying to pump again, back to 30%. Getting back there. Back to that, trying to get back to that 24, test that resistance number. NGA, 7.3% here. Good moves on the SPACs. So we were right. I mean, we were right on the money when we were saying double down on the SPACs. I mean, certainly never financial advice here, just a suggestion that the SPACs seemed way, way oversold. I mean, we were peak fear there on 420 last week. That Monday and Tuesday was just everybody in the comments like, oh my gosh, I'm holding so many bags on SPACs. It's like, chill out. It goes in cycles. But wow. This is a move here on the SPACs. Where's Neo? Is Neo playing catch up at all? Neo 1.29%, not really. And Tesla's at 1, also not really doing anything here. Palantir's almost at 24, that's nice. Roblox back to 73. Bitcoin 53.6, same place it's been. Nikola, I see Nikola's over here somewhere around that 2% range. There it is, 3%. And GameStop 3.51% right now. AMC still holding on to some tendies here. CCIV first red candlestick in a bit, but I mean that is a run there on the CCIV rumor, I have to say. So let's I want to see what if the terminal is covering this on CCIV. CCIV. Let's jump in on this.
I'm actually still not sold on the idea of having Upwork, because I generally do not trust these trend lines compared to the horizontal lines. Usually these horizontal lines are more realistic for me. If they match at some point, that is more interesting, obviously. Like you see here, there was this confluence area which was strong, or almost at this area, something like that. But alone having a trend line, usually it's easy for them to be violated, basically. So I still want to wait for Upwork, but maybe there is no time. I wait.
Ocugen now 23%. Ocugen really pushing here. It's really pushing to catch up with Microvision and Mind Medicine on the day here. It's achieving it. I mean, it's pushing hard. MP Materials is up again, 3.45%. Nice. Got some good moves here, folks. Good moves. All right. So what else? I want to just make it very clear. Earnings today are gonna be epic. You got to be there. I mean, this is one of the biggest weeks with Tesla kicking off today. You got to be there at the closing live stream. The closing live stream is going to be really fun. We're going to go through all of this together. What else do we have? Yeah, Ocugen 23% here. Crazy. Really good moves here. Really, really good moves. Watch that. Watch the action, the price action on Mind Medicine tomorrow after we get that uplisting. I believe that's scheduled for the 27th, which would be tomorrow. Arcimoto's up 5%. Shift's up 5%. Lots of the SPACs are up right now. And not too much down. XL
Let's
Fleets
have a look at OTCO talking.
Offices, are they going to be in those tier 2 cities that you're talking about?
Yeah, well, Julie, for us, the good news is whether they're in suburban offices or high rises, they all have a need for vertical lift and for elevators, and in some cases, escalators. So for us, the market looks very positive with growth this year. We believe the office will be not only back, it may look a little different. It may be configured different now for more health concerns, but people will return. If by 2050, 70% of the population of this world will be living in cities. Urbanization is real, and it will continue to bounce back. People need a separate place. They need separation. They need a place to develop and share culture, collaboration, innovation. And we're starting to see that, you know, as Otis, we have a proxy. We get to see this happening everywhere in the world. And we can tell you everywhere where people want to get back, they're making plans. And we'll see that as we go through the second half of 21. We believe, you know, people will be back.
Judy, talk a little bit about some of the changes you have or are thinking about making, have been requested to make in terms of what elevators need to, you know, have in terms of filtration or, you know, body count on the elevator, let people know how many people are on there. The way that getting from, I guess, the lobby of our office up to our office on the 9th floor and process that looked like pre-COVID and what conversations you guys have had about what it might look like after and sort of the requests you've had along those lines.
Miles, we've been talking to customers throughout the world, and what the future of the elevator industry and buildings is all about being connected. That connection is going to happen digitally, it's going to happen electronically, and it's going to allow for smarter elevators to have better dispatch systems, to have the ability to be touchless. We already have innovated. Innovation's so core to our strategy. We've innovated health solutions that allow for gesture technology, voice technology, but just as importantly for your iPhone or Android device, so that you don't have to touch the buttons. We commissioned a study with Purdue University in 2020, again, as a thought leader to find out how does air get ventilated in elevators. And the ventilation, if you ride an elevator, you have less risk exposure than if you do going to the grocery store or dining outside. There's tremendous ventilation. It's required by code in elevators. Again, in case you get entrapped, you need to have airflow. It's just not as visible as people could see today. It'll become more visible. We have lots of customers who are interested in air purification fans. But the future of the elevated is connected, is getting people where they need to be, safer, healthier, and quicker.
It's exciting stuff. Look forward to riding one of those eventually when I do go back to the office. Judy Marks, President and CEO of Otis Worldwide. Good to see you this morning. All right, there could be some hot trades in one overlooked part of the market. More on that coming right up.
Right, so yeah, what else do we have here? I'm looking to see if I can find another trade. Let's look at how. EAM, Siri, Dish, Ally. Let's have a look at Ally. Let's have a look at Siri. Why does it give Siri? It's not even. Did I change? Yeah, I changed that. It's not correct. I don't know why it gave Siri. ZTS. Let's have a look at that. Too high. Volume. HPE. Not really. I mean, this is basically the best. APD, Air Product and Chemicals. I don't know the company really well. I just know by name, but it has had false movement before, and it's really at there. So I'm not gonna take that either. Well, let's have a final look. OCGN 23%. Let's have a look at pins again. That's the last one we look before we take a break, but not really. It's not really trending right now. We have to wait. Let's have a look at 30 min. Percent far-fetch. Nothing really fancy, but let's check Tesla as the last one. Trending now, really. Let's check again, Ally. Look at this move. All right, that's it for now, at least for the first round of market stream. I will be back in a couple of hours to see how things look. Thanks everyone.